We all must speak out against any form of political violence, and I'm very clear about that. Some of the people closest to Donald Trump when he was president, generals, including most recently John Kelly, a 4-star Marine general, have been very clear about the danger and the threat that Donald Trump poses to America and the fact that he is unfit to serve.
Doesn't matter what, they're talking threat. Top Republican lawmakers now calling on Vice President Kamala Harris to stop the dangerous anti-Trump rhetoric, fearing it could ramp up more threats against the former president, who's already had 2 assassination attempts. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy joins us now. Kevin, does this surprise you at all, considering, Biden ran this fear-mongering campaign, then Kamala said it was going to be all about joy. Well, the joy's gone. Now she's back to Joe's approach. It seems like the only thing they've got.
It's something they do always to President Trump, and it always says, look, it's desperate. It's very dangerous, and it is deliberate of what they're doing, because it's not just Kamala Harris doing it. Now, Hillary Clinton. It's going through all of their spokespeople. But think, this is different than any other election. There have been 2 assassination attempts. This is a moment in time that they should pull back and realize how dangerous the language that they are using right now, and who are they speaking to, and what direction. Because normally you get a mentally ill person that tries these attacks on them, and they believe they're getting the message directly from Kamala to go do this, that they're doing something to save their country, that it's such exaggeration. And for a campaign to say this is going to be about joy, this is drastically different, and this is not the place to close. The last thing that puts fear in my mind of why they're doing it is that they want to argue about the outcome of the election. If their polls were better, would she be saying this? That's the real question you want to ask.
And the question answers itself. Of course not. They don't. This is not what they thought they were going to have to be talking about, but here they are. But as you mentioned, Mr. Speaker, this is not a new thing for Democrats. I think we've got a graphic that shows, all the way back to Barry Goldwater. Even before that, Will pointed out in the Truman race, Republicans have been called Hitler or fascists or tyrants, and from Nixon to Reagan to, Gerald Ford and Mitt Romney are about as moderate as you can get, and they're called Hitler. But with Donald Trump, it's different, though. Let's be real here. Those were maybe one-offs. This is their slogan. This is the blood red dripped, Independence Hall with the Marines behind them, of saying it's a threat to democracy. This is the characterization that they have made. There have been 2 assassination attempts, and they're not going to stop.
They're not. And that's the dangerous part about this. When this election is over, you want people to unite. All the language they're using right now is they want to keep fighting. And when you have 2 assassination attempts, we do not want the next president of the United States to be fearful of their life every single day. What does that do to the entire nation? Think about this president who assassination attempt. He went back to Butler. That was to help heal the nation. The other party is encouraging even more of this rhetoric and more direction in the wrong place that we need at this moment in time.
For sure. Well, Mr. Speaker, I'd be remiss. I don't want to put the cart before the horse here a little bit, but your name has been floated as someone who could potentially, should Trump win, be a chief of staff. Is that the type of job that would interest you?
No. No. Let me be very clear. No. I'm not going to be the chief of staff.
Well, there you go. Well, we appreciate you being on Fox and Friends Weekend this morning and giving us insight, though. You've had some big jobs. Thank you, sir. All right. I don't know if he said that before, but that's interesting. He'd be good at it. All right.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.